And how much money are we asking for?
We're not asking for any money right now.
Okay, yeah, we're not asking for money right now, we're just going. Okay, so we're the UK's newest airline aiming to stand out in the aviation industry. Our tagline is making travel a breeze. We want air travel to be fresh, fun and full of environmentally friendly features. So our flights to appeal to explorers of all ages who want an exciting adventure in a scenic location. We'll tell you more about it later.
So the main aim of the airline is to stand out within the aviation industry as being more environmentally friendly and sustainable. If you wanted a first class flight ticket or whatever, you could go to BA for that. You know, we want to bring something new into the airline industry, and that's sustainability. So basically we'll be implementing the following. So no single-use plastics on board. So all of the materials on board, such as paper, everything like that, for the dinner trays, cups, will all be recyclable. We'll be getting rid of first class and business class. We'll only be offering 2 types of fares. All of things on board will be digital, so no in-flight magazines, anything like that. Everything can be found within the technology on board. We're going to be a big advocate for biofuel, and for every 100 passengers that fly with us, we will be planting a tree.
So the reason why we've only done 2 fares is because the more passengers that are travelling per flight, it reduces the carbon footprint as well. So to make sure our flights are as environmentally friendly as possible, Fresh Islands will be flying our planes with economy and economy plus seating only. In business and first class, seats are bigger, so few people may move by the air. At the same amount of fuel. Research has shown that first class seats have as much as 9 times as big a carbon footprint than an economy one. We fly with the shutters closed for 80% of the journey, which is lowering window shades, help cut emissions. Sorry, the writing's like really like I can't read properly because it's like really like small and white. And low window shades help cut emissions. This is because it reduces the amount of fuel used to cool the aircraft. We will also not be selling duty-free products on our flights, except for food and drink, because we're trying to reduce the weight of the aircraft, resulting in using less fuel we take off. And also with fueling as well, to reduce like carbon footprint as well. Instead of fueling up, say if we have to go back to, we won't fuel it for the whole entire journey, we only fuel the amount of fuel that we need to fight because it actually saves on fuel, like on the weight as well of the aircraft.
So for instance, if we were flying to Australia, we know that we need to have a layover in like Singapore or something like that. We wouldn't put the fuel in to Australia, we put the fuel into Singapore, so it gives us the fuel that we need for Singapore. So we're actually just carrying less weight for that journey because we know we're going to stop there anyway.
So just a little bit about biofuel. So basically, for the most part, biofuels produce less smoke and soot in the air. They also produce lower dangerous chemicals like sulfur, which is leading cause of acid rain. Biofuels also produce less ozone, which is one of the primary components of smog as well. You'd have to read all of it, just say it.
Yeah, so sometimes I think when people think of green and stuff like that, they think of lower quality maybe, but we want to kind of move away from that stereotype. So all of the seats that we'll be using in the aircraft will be made of carbon fibre, it's lighter, it's easier to make. Passengers will still have all of the amenities, so they'll have onboard Wi-Fi, they'll have USB ports, charging ports, everything like that. They'll have like a plethora of movies that they can watch, and like I said before, like the in-flight magazine will all be programmable onto that screen and iPad and things like that. Obviously we'll be moving on to this a bit later, but we will be aiming to support charities and projects through our airline. And so when you have the iPad, you'll be able to go on there. For instance, if you were flying to Bali or something like that, we'll be supporting projects in the local community, and you'll be able to actually see where your money's going. So you'll be able to follow the story of, you know, where that extra £10 is going, and so it's evidence that we're actually putting money back into the community, rather than just siphoning it off for our own evil deeds. And we have obviously a full onboard menu, which will be tailored for that flight. So for instance, we have a seasonal route that goes to Tokyo. On board that flight, you'd be able to get a range of sushi and things like that. And it's all sustainably sourced as well. So, you know, like pole fish, things like that.
Just that's just what's included. So an economy there includes just 1 piece of cabin baggage, and you also, because it's a longer flight, you get breakfast or lunch, depending how long the flight is, depending what time of day it is as well. And you also get like unlimited water and like a few snacks throughout the day. But if you chose to do economy plus fare, you get a piece of full baggage as well. And you also get a seat assignment within the plus area of the plane, usually at the front of the plane. You get a bigger seat with like comfy chair, like something. That's our plane.
Yeah.
Plane.
So I did design this plane. It took me a while. But it is an Airbus A330. We do have another one as well, which is the 300, which is for the sort of shorter journeys, even though it's still long haul. For instance, you would maybe take that one to Singapore, whereas the A330 would be taken to Australia. It is a newer aircraft for the sole reason that newer aircraft have less technical faults, and their interior can also be switched around depending on where you're going. Also, with the newer planes, they have winglets, so these are put into the wings of the aircraft to reduce drag, making them more fuel efficient.
Thanks. So we're just going to take you to where our destinations are. So we have 2 different types of destinations. So we've got our Explorer locations. So these are the ones where they have charities like linked to the locations. So you see that we have Australia, Thailand and Singapore. So for instance, with Australia, if you were going to be flying to Melbourne for instance, in the city of Melbourne they have a sort of pollution filtering system in the Yarra River. So if we're flying there, the fare difference would go towards that charity, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So helping like filter out the Yarra River. They have these nets like in the water where it's kind of like cages alongside the river, like every sort of like 50 meters, and the amount of like plastic bottles and stuff that's in there is like crazy. As well, Lincoln's helping on the ocean bracelet. So in Bali they make these ocean bracelets out of like recyclable like plastics and glass and stuff, and it funds towards like helping keep up the Great Barrier Reef. So with Thailand as well, just for instance, if you're going to be flying to Thailand, we'll be helping towards funding with the elephant sanctuaries that they have there, and also we can give passengers a chance to like volunteer there and everything. So my friend did it. Just a few places that we fly to in Thailand. And then in Singapore as well, so it's the same concept basically in Singapore. So. And then as well, so we've got our seasonal locations. So they don't have any charities like linked to them. These are just sort of more like places we think would be really good to go in these sort of seasons. So in the summer. So this is your like favorite.
Yeah. So when choosing where we would fly, obviously there was always that environmental push behind it, but like Fern said, there's no really charity work to be done here, but we have given people the opportunity to see more sustainable ways of completing their holiday. So for instance, we all know about safaris. You go in a truck, you drive around, you look at giraffes and stuff like that, where here in Botswana you have the option to actually do your safari via canoe. So it's, you're not using the fuel to travel around in a jeep. You can see everything via the river. So in the evening you would like camp on the side of the river, so everything like that. So we would give people, obviously, we don't include that in a package, but it's kind of like we give them the option to see that sort of thing. So it's the option to see it. And we chose Botswana over places like more popular destinations because basically Botswana has the largest African elephant population in the whole of Africa. So they're going to probably see more elephants.
Yeah, and we didn't want to choose locations as well that everyone flies to. We want to choose places that aren't necessarily like the easiest place to go to, so we want to routes that are like a little bit different, I guess. So as well, so in autumn we would look to fly into like Vermont. So in the autumn, all of the leaves are look absolutely amazing. As well, like in Salem, you have a nice Halloween experience in Salem and also in New Orleans. So around these times of year, we have like deals on our flights. So it's like cheaper to fly there. And then in spring, we fly to places like Tokyo, Okinawa, and Seoul because of the cherry blossoms that are there. They have like really nice festivals that last for a couple of months. In Seoul, actually, the cherry blossoms only bloom for about 3 weeks in one location, and then it kind of just sort of like goes around. And then in winter, we look at sort of like really like active, fun holidays, like going skiing and these like amazing locations, and then having like a really Christmassy experience in New York as well. So we chose like Colorado, Vancouver, like 2 locations in Colorado because it's got such a big ski resort there. And this is the uniforms. This is what Ellen drew up for us. So.
Yeah, so obviously you can't see it, but the arrows are there. So that uniform's not going to be white, it's going to be navy, but it was more so you can see the definition of the uniform. So we decided to go with navy colour because although you are in a smart environment, you're also working. You might have like maybe like a drunk passenger on board, throw a glass of wine on you. So dark colours are just more practical, really.
So they're going to play Coldplay on like all of their flights. You know, it's really bad music. It's like non-stop.
Yeah.
They
Freya riding when you go to, you know, or what was that one? Non-stop, you know.
Yeah. They say that they case their food to each destination, but they only actually sell egg sandwiches and milk on all of their flights, which, you know, is a bit gross. As well, Steve Ager works for this airline. I don't know if that would put you off.
Gloves are really off.
Do you really want to fly with an airline that does this? And then a bit of Swedish at the end of Frågan behöver inget svar, which means the question needs no answer. There you go. That's all for you.
Yeah, for listening to us. Do you have any questions?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Would you like to start, Mr. Gilbert?
I'm going to start with the most recent point that's coming up. What is wrong with Steve Agar?
Which is a bit of a weird guy, isn't he?
We've actually heard that he's a spy. Heard on the grapevine.
For an aircraft or?
For the airline industry.
Yeah.
Okay. So, things like the 24-hour, 7 days a week call centre,
Yeah.
and the digital menus, digital magazines, biofuels and things like that, it sounds like it's going to be quite expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how much is a ticket to, say, Australia?
Have the exact price on there from the back again.
Yeah. Sorry. So, what's this like per person? Can't see anymore.
Okay.
What's the cost of whole baggage if you didn't book it in your economy plus?
27.
27. Because your ticket is £50 more for the plus.
Yeah,
So I could then buy myself a whole bag. What else am I getting?
you're getting the seat assignment, and you're also getting a nicer seat to sit in on the plane, so a bigger seat. Kind of like, not like a business class seat, but you get more space, you get more leg room, your recliner goes back further.
Okay.
So how does that compare to like British Airways to Australia? How much do you know?
Depends what sort of ticket you're looking at.
Let's go for economy British Airways to Australia.
I don't know.
That's that question.
I have a question about the new aircraft. So you said because they're a bit more economically friendly, really, they don't break down or anything. How many aircraft are you expecting to sort of build? How is this all going to start up?
So I would expect to have, I would say, a minimum of, to begin with, 20.
What's the reason for that?
Because obviously, you know, I would say we're looking to maybe have
100.
no. I think 100 is a too big of a fleet for what we're going for. Obviously, we're looking for a sustainable airline, and even if we have the most sustainable biofuel in the world, the more aircraft we have in the air, the more pollution we're putting into it. So I think 20 is an easy number to manage. Compared to stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Have you looked at sort of how much that just building the aircraft in general is going to affect the environment, and how that will sort of equal it out from then saving whatever you are saving from having that aircraft in the end?
You moved. So you changed the style. So you no longer got your first class or your business class. I assume to add more passengers.
Yeah. So basically, you have a first class section. It probably has 50% less people in it than economy. But you're still having to fuel the aircraft the same amount as if you were travelling with more people. So we've gotten rid of that to make sure that there's more space to carry more people for the fuel that we're using.
Okay. And so you said to counteract the weight on there, you got rid of your duty-free stuff. So by having more people on the plane and then taking out the duty-free to reduce the weight of the plane, would not the people on the plane on the flight increase the weight?
Well, if you think in first class, you've got beds in there, you've got all the extra material there. Like we're putting carbon fibre seats in, so it's probably going to be less weight than if you were to have a first class pod kind of thing.
Are they comfortable?
Got practice on that now.
Yeah.
For like long haul flights though, so you got 14 trips to Australia. I know that takes over a day. You have to. So would that be?
Driving there.
It would take longer to drive.
To
Yeah.
move flying.
Or flying. So flying to.
Well, I mean, the people that travel in economy generally, they do
Yeah,
okay.
I flew to Australia with economy. It was alright.
As a person that has. So would that be? So have you really thought about the added weight? Have you tracked the fuel? So has it really made a difference? Do you know the difference in weight and stuff?
Well, like it said there, it's. Can you pull that slide again with the?
I'm sorry.
I suppose what you're saying, another airline, obviously it's supply and demand, so if you've got another airline that had that demand
Yeah.
to take 100 passengers, they'd be doing 2 planes, some of which are paying more for first class.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
because
if
you're
you
not doing that, you're just running the one plane, so...
essentially, the target audience that we're looking for are people that want to fly more sustainably. Like, I think, for instance, a lot of this generation, they do want to fly more sustainably. They understand the impacts of air travel. Would they sacrifice maybe having first class to fly in an aircraft that is more sustainable? Probably yes. Because if they wanted to fly first class, they could fly with BA, with American Airlines.
What about someone that's 6'7"? If you've got spaces with a lot of leg room and
Well, we have extra leg room.
Yeah, our planes will be like laid out. Like so you can sit in front of like the door bit.
So that's one seat.
how many
That's
people?
4 seats. With people who are 6'7" can sit there.
And so you've got 20 aircrafts to fly.
Aircraft.
Aircraft. Sorry.
To start off with.
To start off with. So
Yeah.
you're flying to all these like long distance locations. So where are you flying out from?
The UK. To start off with.
What, Exeter?
Where?
No, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to shout no then.
No.
It would be most London airports, except for Luton. And then Manchester, Birmingham, and that's it. Yeah.
And you doing direct flights?
Yeah, it's direct.
And how regular will these flights be?
Every 4 days.
You sure?
Well, I did some calculations based on, well, like with the profit margin, for instance, based on doing 10 flights per day.
Well, what is your profit
It's 9%. Of
How does
what?
that compare to?
Well,
Don't look at me.
you,
I've got. I'm the investor here. I've got.
you're fired. So it is slightly below the industry standard for a long-haul airline, but we had to factor in the increased cost of running this airline.
Yeah.
How much is it going to cost to start out?
So
I think my questions are around that really. So you've got a lesser profit margin than your competitors, and you're planning to spend a lot of that on trees and animals. And it's already an industry that is, let's say,
Not
suffering.
profitable, yeah.
Yeah.
So the calculations that I've made, it might all just be gobbledygook, I don't know. But I did do some working out. So the profit per passenger that we were looking for is around £19. If we were to run the amount of flights that we want to do, 10 per day, let's say, that equals a profit per day of £63,000. Over 365 days, that will give us a profit per year of 23 million. I've had a breakdown of basically, I haven't had a breakdown, but like there's a breakdown of like kind of costs, because you know, even with the most high-tech plane there is a chance of technical weather, things like that. It's kind of like an industry that's in flux, I would say, and it suffers the most when fuel prices go up and things like that. But yeah, with all that calculated in, an average yearly profit could be as little as 4 million.
As little as 4 million.
Yeah.
how much are you investing in charities?
Well, for instance, with say the ticket for an economy, okay, is £600. The ticket for the economy class is £650. That £50 extra is not going to us. It's going back into the community or the charity that you're flying to.
When it adds your fuel though, because in that £50 you've got another piece of luggage.
Yeah, so what
Makes
makes
me
you
more than
think
anyone else.
they'll appeal to these places that other airlines have probably considered, but considered to be unprofitable?
Again, it's just like target audience, really, isn't it?
I mean, it's not as if it's unprofitable. It's if England is not hard, it's not as easy to get to places like Colorado and things like that. So it's in comparison to someone who lives in America, and you just fly over, whereas we have to do like loads of stops to like get there. So
Well, how long do you think it will take you? Obviously, your startup costs will be quite large, but you don't know what that is. So how long do you think it might take you to become profitable?
I don't know. I would probably put in place a 5-year plan.
And if you weren't profitable?
If we weren't profitable. That's it, that then.
Instead of playing big,
Yeah.
I just have one further question. Have you heard the album Fever La Vida.
I've heard a few songs.
Cool. I have one. There was nothing following up on the view of the video thing.
It's just got good sort of themes on it throughout it, really. It's quite
Yeah, but
musical.
for 8 hours.
I wouldn't listen to it for 8 hours, but all I'm saying is Coldplay, although aren't my favourite band, they certainly have something to offer my collection.
Yeah. And I've just got a completely different question. Just why H&M as well? So you're saying, I know they're trying to look at sort of like recycling like 50% of their clothing, that's sort of the aim, but why did you particularly pick them? I mean, they're like a fast fashion company, they've still got like a lot of wastage, and that again contributes to just the environment in general in a negative way.
So we would be taking clothes from like their old sort of like recycled stock that isn't really selling and stuff. So our uniforms like blazers and like pencil skirts and shirts and things like that. And having come back to there's lots of old stuff in the stockroom which is double shift. And I just feel like you're really going to waste if like you weren't using that instead of just going to a
Outlet or
yeah, like creating completely new uniforms from scratch, and you know just use clothing that's already there, that's already been made.
No, I definitely like agree with that. I think with recycling and things, you've got quite a big focus on different charities that you're doing for different flights. I didn't know if there was a different charity that you could actually focus on instead of just collect clothes, instead of sort of helping like a huge company that are also sort of impacting the environment in a negative way. Yes, they're doing something that's quite good, but if your focus is on charities, why wouldn't you do something more into that where it's just completely random? So many things that up.
I think I've got all the information I need.
I did. There was a little bit that I wanted to read just to finish off, and it was kind of just the end of the reason why we chose this kind of like unique selling point. And it poses the question, like, can you make an airline that is both profitable and sustainable? And the answer is yes, if you pick the correct target audience. 2019 has been a year of strong opinions when it comes to the subject of climate change, from Greta Thunberg to Extinction Rebellion. Global warming and the impacts that humans have on the environment have never been more relevant. It goes without saying then that the more and more people are looking at ways to lessen their carbon footprint and travel more responsibly. What better way to do that than to travel with an airline that has holding itself accountable for its impact on the planet at the forefront of its agenda? It's just something to think about.
That's a good closing statement.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If you have loads of questions for us, we can have loads of questions now. More questions for them.
Perfect. It's like their favourite song of people.
Why egg sandwiches?
So, I've got some questions here. So, have you ever wanted to go on holiday but have no idea where to go? Or your friends and family never been able to make a decision together? Or just want to do something spontaneous, booking a trip? So we offer a unique service where you can actually book a flight to somewhere in the world without actually knowing where you're going.
We do offer direct flights as well.
Okay.
Yes.
So no, everyone doesn't always like that.
Yeah. So when visiting our website, you will be presented with a questionnaire to which you can select answers to a number of questions relevant to certain destinations that we have to offer. So the answers are then generated based on the questions. So it's like questions like, why do you want to travel, which you prefer, like maybe hot or cold, and then the destination is selected without the customer finding out. And
But if you have a destination you've been to before, and you've been, it's long haul, so Australia, you can say you don't want to go there.
yeah.
So you're not
Okay.
going somewhere you've been previously. So it
Okay.
is a massive surprise.
So this can be booked as well for solo travellers, for group travellers, just depending on the preference of the customer. And as Connor said, for the not so adventurous travellers, we do offer just direct flights if you wanted.
So it is booked, it's aimed at travelling as opposed to a holiday.
Yeah, it's more travellers. So every week, so once you book this holiday, every week of the travel, every week leading up to it, and we will actually send the passengers clues and facts about their surprise destination. And these clues will be vague, so it is harder for the customers to work out, but then become a bit easier closer to the time. So we have, actually, I'll leave this here once we're done, but we've got some clues as examples as well. And we'll also give them live weather updates as clues as well for that particular area that they're going to. Again, without giving too much away.
So with regard to packing, it's a complete surprise, but one of the clues that Ren did say about if you go into a hot climate, you obviously want to pack something close. So that will be in one of the clues we give. So just a rough briefing. So we go to Orlando, New Zealand, Vietnam, Dubai, Brazil. So under it we've got roughly what you want to take for the type of temperature that it should be. Our baggage size is 32 by 24 by 71, which Ren Google found out is the estimate for people that do go travelling. So it's not like our gun bag where it's just a small way
It's
to
one
go.
of these averagey ones that you take that travellers usually go with.
So
So leading up to when the clues and stuff, on the day of travel, should the passenger choose to be surprised at the airport, they will be presented with their special boarding pass, and then the passenger will then scratch off the destination to then find out where they're travelling to.
we have made boarding passes as well. You did one,
Yeah,
so
so there's
that was Steve made that.
yeah, and Reese. So we do understand that in some cases passengers get more anxious about knowing their destinations, and it is a bit risky as well. So closer to the departure date, especially when it comes to accommodation, you can get like a bit anxious. But by logging it into our website, and then we would have an app, you can actually reveal it beforehand. So you can reveal where you're going if you get too nervous, because accommodation would be a big thing. So in regards to accommodation, we do have like a separate page which we recommend websites to the passenger.
With a discount code as well. So we've been told if the accommodation on the day can be quite pricey, because we're aimed at travellers. For example, my sister went to Bali, they booked hostels on the day, and it's a lot cheaper than if you did it in advance, because they have to sell the rooms out.
Yeah, so we also carried out research and some statistics to show that 76% of travellers don't actually book their accommodation until the day of travel or a few days prior as well.
And we found that out on condor.com.
Yeah, so we did do our research.
Yeah.
And we have set destinations as well.
Yeah. So like I said, the destination we go to, so Orlando, Queenstown, Hong Kong, Halong Bay, Dubai, I think it's pronounced Mail, in the Maldives, New York and Rio de Janeiro. So what I've done on the website is got all the locations there, which we should be able to get.
So these destinations as well, we've got 2 active, 2 artistic, 2 beach and 2 city, so they'll fall into categories whether you pick them with the questionnaire. And we will be flying from 2 airports in the UK, which is London, Heathrow and Edinburgh. There's one's there, one's Edinburgh. So
Always have to do that.
yeah, and this is cost effective and probably the most easiest way to access if we only had one. And we've only got a few routes as well from more cost effective.
So this was designed by Denny and Jazz. It's our library and our pre-uniforms. So the colour we've kind of gone with is teal and purple. They just look nice on the website. We can't just carry that out. So each team member came up with a few designs. So I think Denny came up with 6. Sent it to us via email. This is what we all went with. So it's a complete group decision. And we just feel like it really captured what our airline represents.
But we'll leave all this to you. So that's unfortunately, so I might have
Yeah,
to
that's
say
fine.
something.
So as well, you previously mentioned the baggage allowance. Our onboard service, so seats all included, onboard menu, so it's a long haul flight. It's all included in the price of the ticket, so you've got nothing else to pay for. So when you make the booking, that's it. There's no additional costs.
We also provide a world cuisine menu with different cultured foods on different flights, and there'll also be vegetarian and vegan options, so there is something for everyone. Because you see airlines now, that's probably one of the things that people moan about the most is the vegan options and the vegetarian options.
Yeah.
Go. So sore about it.
So what we've come up with as well is a gift card element. So say like you want to take your partner or one of your best friends, you just want them to go somewhere completely random, you can purchase a gift card. So it'll have the full amount on, use it onto the website, and then it's similar to our mystery plugin. They'll just go onto that and they'll find just randomly where they're going. So you contact us, you can choose your location. You can choose your location if you do the direct flight, or you can go with our mystery package. And that is the gift card. It's quite handy having recent article. So the cost, this was done by Meg. The website we used to get an average was Skyscanner. So we've gone with, so Orlando, the average price is £453. For Queenstown, average of 1,100, and such and such. We've got Hong Kong, indirect, direct, the rest of them. So regarding cost, we've taken the average cost of a meal per person, which is £6.50, and the average seat price, which is £8, and we've taken into consideration when generating our ticket price. So the total cost to be added to the ticket fare would be only £14.50, which will round up to £15. So we would add this onto the average market price of a return ticket to the destinations, so it'd be 30. We as a company will also seek to make 25% profit on each ticket for ourselves. Done a bit of research and I think the average was 9%.
Yeah, and
each airline makes.
So this would be more like a future costing as well. And because of the destinations because they're selective, we can sort of like gauge it as well. So something that the profit would be something that we find out more in the future.
But included in the cost is visas.
Because you'd need a visa as well for these countries, and especially as a surprise, we'd get a copy of the passport and their details and sort that out for them, and it's included in the price.
Yeah, so the pricing we've gone with, like I said, the average to Orlando is £453, so we've gone with £585, so 25% profit, and such. So Hong Kong, average direct flight 800, so our price can be just over 1,000, and Dubai's, their average 440, ours going to be 554. On the website we have got an FAQ page, it's still under building, it's quite a lot on there, but we have to put it into the portfolio.
And the cost is better, like we aren't aiming to be like the lowest, but for what we provide, the service was completely unique. We believe that we could sell it for more. So the FAQs. So how will I know when to arrive at the airport? So we would advise the time a couple of days beforehand. About the visa, we would take care of that, and we've also got some more information on what visas are needed for the different countries. Who's it suitable for, and it's suitable for everyone, but for solo travellers we would recommend like 18 and over just because of the accommodation. And can you travel with a disability? Yes, you just need to contact us and we'll do it for you. So that's just an example of consideration.
So we have got a terms and conditions page, so we appreciate surprise routes can sometimes be a bit worrying. If you do change your mind, that's not a problem, we will refund within 2 hours of creating the booking. Medical injury or bereavement, so valid documentation, we can issue a voucher to use within 12 months. Delays, cancellations, we operate under the CA guidelines, so if you do want to file, then you just contact our complaints department and they'll get all that process. Ticket changes, so itinerary changes are not available because they don't know where they're going. Name changes and dates are available for a one-off charge of £70. Spelling errors, married or maiden names, that will all need to include any documentation to prove that. But all that is taken into consideration to a part of that case-to-case basis. With damaged baggage, we've got a separate team that deal with that.
Easiest way.
Yeah. And onboard announcements or requests, have to contact the social media team, and then they can contact the operations team who will hopefully get that organised. It's not guaranteed, but we will try.
So we were also thinking about future plans, so things that we could do once the airline was successful. So because of the type of airline it is, I think it would be like one of these sort of trend ones. So because of the type it is and it's unique, it would be something as well that might be the social influencer type. So we looked more into that, and a couple of us came with the idea of even when we start flying more routes, because we want to do Europe as well, of having like a vending machine at an airport where you scan your card and it'll literally drop it in and you'll just find out where you're going there and then. So you can do that. And we would also, with the 25% profit that we have, with 5% of that we would want to put that away and then start our own research independently and look at improving carbon emissions.
Are there any questions on any of it?
Very few.
Of course.
The market in which you're going. So you're based it on travellers. Most of your destinations are focused on hot places, I believe.
Yeah.
It's sort of really important. And that's part of your hints is in terms of what to pack is like really hot places. Is that always going to be the hint on the back of their questionnaire, or is that going to?
No, so we've got like a few others that you can have a look at. For example, like if it was Dubai, we've got hints to do with like what to wear, because obviously you have to dress a bit more up for places like that. Some of them are fun ones. We've even got one of the girls that put
Vietnam.
Yeah, Vietnam, that you might need diarrhea tablets, just silly stuff like that. So there's all different hints for different ones.
So did you say there's a hint for diarrhea tablets?
Yeah, don't get a gas put in for an example, but yeah, it would be like all different types of things.
Does
We
it take?
did research that. It's
So
not
what are
completely-
your destinations again?
We've got Orlando, Queenstown, Hong Kong, Halong Bay, Dubai, Mail and Maldives, New York and Rio de Janeiro.
And these are like the top destinations that people visit each for the year.
So what would your hints be for New York at December?
It could be things like, it couldn't just be what to wear, it can be accessories. So if you're going in December, it could be something Christmassy. And it could be little things from like camera, like so it's going to start very vague and then get like more, so then done December, a scarf. Like so it's just little tiny hints, like we don't want to give too much away because we want it to be a complete surprise for them. So anything.
One of the ones we got down for New York, which
Yeah.
a lot of people might think Dubai.
Yeah,
is,
more like common sense, but like still at the same time like fun. Because you don't want to give too much away and say, oh, an I Love New York t-shirt or something like that.
Because New York is home to the most billionaires in the world. A lot of
Yeah.
people just instantly think, oh, you're sort of going to Dubai when you're not.
Yeah. You said that you can get a refund 2 hours after booking it. What if I book a ticket for 4 months in advance, something happens and I need a refund a month before? I can't go.
What type of things happen?
Something in my private life.
Yeah, so as we said in like terms and conditions, if medical bereavement and stuff like that, we would look into it.
And what about if I changed my mind about the idea of a secret location I didn't know?
So there's an option in the app where you can reveal it before going. So
And
if
if I don't like it?
Then that is in
Yeah.
the terms and conditions.
That's the risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We have all that in the terms and
If
conditions.
you're
Yeah.
not found that, then just book it directly.
And
Yeah.
as
It's
well
fully
as
available.
Connor mentioned before, we have an option on the app where you can deselect some of the locations.
Yeah.
If you've already been before and you don't want to risk it in the same location, you can unselect certain ones. So then it'll be around a different random one.
And you can book direct flights with yourselves.
You can also book them as well.
And with this, I mean, how are you going to all like initially set it up? Like, how are you gonna find that aircraft? How are you gonna sort of just build the whole thing? Where's it all gonna be based? Sort of, where's your complete starting point?
Well, we work for Flybe, so probably Richard Branson to help us.
Okay, so fine, right, okay. Didn't know if it was just like a completely new thing.
no, we have contacts, so
Okay.
you're probably
Put it in the
hoping for
door,
that.
like Richard
Yeah.
Branson, you got just space.
Yeah, exactly. And
I'll
he's
fly
Freddie's
me,
on
fly
it.
to Heathrow. Heathrow with us.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go.
That answers that one.
Do you have any idea of what your starting costs will be?
Starting costs.
What do you need from us?
How much you want?
How much they give it?
It's on in the pocket.
One's a
How much
different
I
thing
need
to
to like?
need, isn't it?
5 billion money pound probably to start off, that'd be fine.
Well, we did say we wanted 50 aircraft.
50.
50.
How
Yeah.
much does an aircraft cost?
It depends who you know.
So
And
based
in
on
our
your
case,
contacts.
it's Richard
Based on my
Branson.
contacts,
Well, actually, I watched a man build one the other day for £1,000. So,
Is that going
anyway,
to fly
from
to
there.
New York?
Well, we'll see.
We'll
Why?
see.
Okay.
So is that
That
going to
could
be
be
your
one of the surprise
manufacturer?
flights.
manufacturer is some dodgy guy with a red nose.
For more.
So you're looking to make a 25% profit off every ticket
In the future.
in the future. So what is your projected profitability?
I don't even know what it means. Connor, that's a question for you.
25% in the future.
So your target every year would be to achieve 25%.
Yeah, to start off with, because, well, you see the 25 and then 5% we want to put into research, so it just depend on the research as well, because if we're looking into emissions and if we somehow come up with something, we could then sell that idea as well, which would fund it. Which would fund
You'd also spend a lot more money on it.
science is a risky thing.
With your after service, so what do you have in place for people to handle like this, like a content center?
So we've got social media, so we've got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. So open 24 hours a day.
Yeah, so our start would probably be
Pinterest. So they can share photos of their destination, and we have
I'm
a
not
note.
sure that's a way to contact you if they need to then.
Direct message on Pinterest. Hopefully, I haven't got
Yeah,
Pinterest.
you
so
have.
hopefully that is true.
yeah. You can direct message. But wouldn't probably be one that we contact, but it'd be something that we
That's
to
more
share.
just share. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it'd probably start as social media, and then we would have maybe a second contact centre, probably in Edinburgh.
But we have got a call centre.
And what's the economics behind that? How long will that open for? What's it do?
Yeah, we'll probably be open like 12 hours a day is what we come up with.
12 hours.
How many days a week?
6. On a Sunday, it's not.
Do you fly on a Sunday?
No.
It's God's day.
Yeah. It's roast on Sundays.
Okay. And you said about when someone buys a ticket, there's no additional costs anywhere. What if my bag doesn't fit the same confinement as every other trialist?
We don't charge.
So you let
So I
We
can
allow it.
come with a case the size of this.
We wouldn't
Much
tell
like
them
every
that,
other
though.
person.
We would probably say, listen here, you will bring a bag that size.
That would
And I think
probably
the same as-
spread though.
Yeah, but what Fly we done in the first place, they were a bit more reluctant with the sizes. I think would be the same. And if in the future it became a problem, then we would start charging for it.
So
Because
you
it's a
could
new airline,
price-
you don't want to start charging straight away and get all the.
Okay.
Negative press.
Yeah.
You want to set the standard straight away though, so I think they're charging as well, and you're basically just missing out on money.
A lot of airlines didn't charge before though. It was just a thing that was brought in when it was a problem. And I think it'd be the same if it was a problem straight away. Can you nip it in the bud?
Do you not feel like it would be a problem?
I don't think it would.
No,
It
first
is for every other airline.
mostly, yeah, but mostly solo travellers and things like that. Like if you think it's like domestic here, and it's what is mostly a problem. But for like bigger bags, you want to take as little as possible anyway. It's not like most of the time you come back with lots of stuff.
What about return flights? So, quite often, a traveller will buy themselves a one-way ticket, go out for a couple of years or whatever, but they might want to do it within 3 months. Can they do it on the surprise? Can they book all of that, or is it strictly one way?
It's a return, but you can
Yeah,
input
it's
the
one way
dates
on
you want to
return.
travel.
So is there a limit on the return?
No.
So it's open?
Yeah, because travellers, it's not too long.
For the
they get away
surprise,
for
yes,
months.
for the surprise destination it's return, but you can book direct flights as a return and as a one way as well.
So I could, if I was on one of your surprise ones, ended up in Dubai, wherever, but didn't know when I wanted to come back.
You can do it with a No,
Do
not
so-
with a surprise one. You can just book a direct flight. With a surprise one, it would be a bit more harder. So we probably wouldn't offer that because it's just too much involved. If you want a surprise holiday, then book the surprise holiday. If you want to book a one-way, close your eyes and go like that. And Is that everything? Say yes.
What music are you going to be playing on your airplane?
Lewis Capaldi.
Venga boys, we're going to Ibiza. Let's give up.
Not Coldplay.
We're going to do a bit of Paradise, but
Whatever you want, you can put in a special request.
with our social media team,
Yeah.
24 hours a day.
When people, is it in your questionnaire, are they able to put in sort of with their budget, I guess?
Yeah, that is one of
Yeah.
the questions.
So
So
it's
it's
like
a
a slider that you can move.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so there's a slider so they can put in a budget, so it'll be from this price up to this price, and if they pick like in the middle then it can be anywhere. If they pick the highest then it can be anywhere.
Is it set at like your lowest potential price? So
Yeah,
what
so
prices?
the lowest one I think we've got is Orlando, which is 585.
So it'll start at 585.
Yeah,
and
yes,
you go
some
up
of the
to-
questions we've got a main concern.
so they'll know
So if
exactly
that is
what they're
budget,
shopping.
then you can input that and how much you are willing to spend.
Oh, okay, on the ones that decide what location I'm going to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
so
not-
you can
just
put it on there as like if it's like a main concern, or you actually have a slider as well, so you can like move what budget.
Why did you, so these are all sort of long haul flights, why did you decide to start on long haul flights first before?
That's what we were told
Yeah,
to
it's a
do.
challenge.
Okay, no, fair enough, fair enough, I
Because
didn't know that.
yeah, because we
We worked at
originally
domestic,
came up with
so-
Europe and then read it back and was like, oh, it's long haul. So then we had to think more into like visas and stuff like that and make the idea work, which yeah.
How are you going to manage the visas?
Meaning like
Well,
for
so
the
you've got your
information
social
stuff.
media team
Yeah,
and then your call centre, so where are the visas being done?
It'd be done with the
Yes.
call centre.
yeah. So like us, we have back training and everything, so we could do it. on
And
the
how
phone.
am I going to get my passport to you? What?
So you would just send a copy of your passport, which would have all your details, and any details we need, we would email you, and you just send that right over, and we would get it all sorted for you.
But that will be sort of as soon as you start booking. You'll need to send your passport details over.
Okay.
So you'll need to validate it and then get the visa up and running.
And then you say that your price is higher than average, but you're targeting travellers who kind of renowned for going budget.
Not to these destinations. People who travel to these destinations usually have a bit more money to spend.
And the average price that we've come up with is just the ticket price. When
Yeah.
ours comes with a bag, comes
Yeah.
with seats, onboard meals.
And it has a meal and everything in it. So yeah.
On the visas, so you can get different visas. So if you go to Australia, you can get worker visas. Does that cover part of the?
We have the different costings on here as well, so that'll be included into
So the visas are on the top.
no, that's included, but we've put these into the ticket prices as well.
Oh, okay. So if it's a different one at X place, my ticket
It's
will
all on,
cost
on the
more.
questionnaire.
Okay.
It is quite thorough.
So the question was like, are you looking for a working visa?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I think it's why you plan on travel.
Yeah.
And there's different
Work.
options. Work, just family holiday, fancy a break.
And with the reveal on the app, is that limited to a closer time to the destination or any point? If I change my mind and have a look, I'm
Yeah,
like, can't
any
you
point at all you can do it. I'll probably be like, are you sure? Are you sure? All the way through it, but yeah.
Do you know how big your market is?
Massive. So everyone knows who Richard Branson is, so if you was sending your line.
So we're relying on Richard Branson.
No.
Okay.
Well, so are we, though, aren't
Because
we?
of, yeah, because of the idea behind it and because it is unique, I would imagine it would be quite popular, and especially with, say, the likes of like influencers and maybe like the more celebrity, which then would have more press, and they have such a big influence now. Then I think that would then have an influence on everyone else. So I think it would be pretty popular.
Do you have any concerns of it being one of those 5-minute wonders where it just fades out? Do you have any backup plan? Should
Or a
that?
5-minute window.
We did think
less.
of that, but then it is, we do offer direct flights as well, and they're
Yeah,
always going to be
we would
international.
release more routes, we would come up with new trends, like say this vending machine and more like the researching into it and stuff. Like there's
So does your direct flight cost the same as your surprise one?
It varies,
yeah.
it does fluctuate.
Subject to change, just like any airline.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Sure? Didn't sound very
I
convincing.
knew we'd have so much questions with this as well.
That was all right, but I need to start grilling a bit more.
He kept his glasses on there.
Yeah.
That's what we configured by the lighting in this room.
We thought we would not play it safe and hot, so we would do different, so.
We were just going to go for the normal airline,
Yeah.
hypothetically like Fresh Airways, but we just want to do something completely different. We wanted a challenge, really.
There's an airline. But yeah, we'll leave that with you. So,
Oh,
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.